back to another episode of the DPCast. I'm Paul.
I'm Dan.
And today we're going to be doing our first live episode.
Yeah.
Episode 20.
I'm not really nice, but we're in the same room.
Yeah, same room. Freaking for the first time ever. So we thought we'd give it to you guys for episode 20. Both of us in the same room talking. This is going to feel really weird because we're not used to that shit.
No, hey, Paul.
I know.
Happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary, Dan. Happy anniversary. Without further ado, guys, I say we get straight into
What's new with you?
So, Dan,
Yeah,
what's new with you, bud?
I've had the shits. And the new car.
What a contrast.
I had the shits and a new car. I run the same
I've
time.
shot through my anus and I'm driving a new car. My car makes me shit to my ass.
Yes. Went to the dealership with the shits and got a new car. Had to hold that one in.
What, did they give you laxative as you drove it?
Yeah. Oh, it's all right though. I think I was going through a respite during the car dealership part, and luckily all the paperwork had been done a few days before the shits. So the quick part was quick shits quick.
Runs.
Oh dear. Yeah. So I've got a bit of a drippy belly. I've got a Ford Fiesta. And the air conditioning doesn't work, so I'm going to have to take it back on Tuesday. So.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, so I was like, the day I got it was a really hot day too. I know the shits. And, yeah. Well, actually, at that point, it wasn't too bad. The shits were having a bit of a rest. So it wasn't too bad. So, and what was I doing? Oh, yeah, I was going to a rehearsal. Oh, this is the part. I was going to a rehearsal or reading for a play that we're thinking of doing. And I thought, okay, my belly seems all right. It's fine, So, okay, I'll take the car out now and, give the old AC a go. Sitting in my car with the windows closed at 28 degrees Celsius. And I was thinking, this isn't doing jack shit. So what's going on? And after a bit of potching and fiddling, I realised that the AC was not working at all. So, never mind. Anyway, next part of the story.
Have you pressed the button? Because there's a button like my one to get a hold of... Do you know, like when you knock it on?
Yes.
Isn't like a straight knock on. It's a button you press and then it gives you the aircon.
Yeah, there's a button. I put it
All
on.
right.
Yeah, it's got a little orange light in it that says it's on.
Because I know some are just pre-actives you. Freaking, so I was thinking just in case it was like on your last car.
No, this one comes on by itself, I think. I'm not too sure if when the temperature goes over a certain thing. I don't know. But it seems to come on by itself even though it doesn't work, It's like,
My car goes brum brum.
brum, brum. Johnson cool air.
You want some cool air? Open the fucking window.
AC on, windows wind down automatically. so yeah,
automatic cunt.
The next part of the story, I went to the rehearsal reading thing, and at this point, leading up to the rehearsal, my stomach was fine. It was good, fine. Then during the thing, the rehearsal room was bloody boiling, and that's when my gut starts announcing itself. Doing the old noises, and I think most of it was gas by that point. But even when you hold a fart in, it gets painful after about 2 hours.
Oh yeah.
When it starts kicking.
It's like a balloon in it. Like it's like if you fill up a full balloon, and you put your fingers over that nozzle, what you're pretty much doing to your arsehole, all you're gonna have is.
Oh Christ! Yeah, I didn't quite get that bad. I did rush off to the loo for it's like okay, end of Act 1. Excuse me a moment.
End of Act 1, I'm going to Act 2.
So I went to the toilet and I did the whole. Have you ever done this? It's the first time I've ever done it, but someone told me that they do this in public toilets. You do, right? When you're on the toilet, some people are very farty shitters. Yeah. They get the sound. What they do, if they know they're going to have a fart first, they get a bit of tissue or a bit of toilet paper and put it over their asshole, then fart. Apparently it's like a suppressor, like a gun. But apparently it muffles your fart. So I thought, okay, I'll try this. I knew it was mostly gas, so I thought, okay, I'll fold a bit of paper now. Didn't do fuck all.
going to say, it's coming. Whoever just told that to you must have shoved like a bog roll up their ass. It muffles your sound.
But the noise carries in that place, so I know if I just fully went out, they'd hear me. It's like, Dan, you okay? Fine, thank you. But no.
The best part about it, we really wanted to get her into this podcast.
Oh yeah, you offended me, Paul. Since I walked in, I'm in Paul's house now. I was not 20. No, let's call it 2 minutes into his house, and he offends me. Offends me terribly. Hurt my feelings. I can't remember what it was about now.
Yeah, exactly. He was that offended, he literally forgot about it 2 minutes.
I was so offended, I lost my memory.
Yeah, what the fuck were you offended about?
I don't know. I can't remember now. I'm trying to think now. What was I offended about?
Jingle? Is that the intro?
Only a little bit. I was expected to be offended. Even though I fucking loved it, bastard.
I did it. Things about guys, we got a new intro coming in.
I'm not that bothered, Paul.
No,
I know you. I know you're.
Yeah, I know that. Freaking, to be honest, with me and Dan, we work really well as a team, and when we both see each other's flaws, we try and correct them big time. And big time, we know in it. We've known each other for years now, Dan. Freaking, so like we know how to call each other on our shit. Yeah. And most of the occasions, Dan will call me out on his, and freaking you do vice versa to me, and it works so well as a harmony. Like at the end of the day, we wouldn't got episode 20 without me and Dan working as a complete unit in this. And lo and behold, Dan does a phenomenal job. Like, you really do, like, it genuinely sounds like I'm fucking nomming you off here, but it's basically
hey, we're in the same room.
But it genuinely, like, you do a great job, Dan. You really do. Like, the editing is top dollar. It really has been. Wouldn't go on episode 20 without you, boy. Genuinely, at the end of the day, contents with both of us. Editing is definitely your end of the scale, and you do that great deal to it. And as I said,
I've got far without your mouth on my end, your end.
Well, at the end of the day, with us being what we do, boy, we're now episode 20. Dan has done so many jingles and stuff like that. He wanted to jazz up the one thing that we've been really feeling like needed a bit of jazzing up since episode 1, isn't it?
We've kind of been improving the podcast as we go along, and it's overtaken the original opening of our podcast. It sounded a bit flat compared to the rest of it now. So I thought, hang on, I'm going to give that a good old effing revamp.
And he has. He really has. Genuinely, guys. He might be on this episode. We don't know yet. But at the same time as well, is that what he has got for you guys, it's great. It is a phenomenal entrance to it. We just need to do a bit of tinkering, and damn, it's ready for podcast. It really is. Jingles alone, you hear that each and every week. It's bang on. It really is, boy. Do you know what I mean? And we've had people like Will. We've had Sean, who will end up doing more parts coming forth. What is really interesting, I kind of like the part we've got like Sean and all that coming on these days now, doing his little bits and bobs.
We've got a nice little variety show.
Yeah, we do. We can do it. It's like we're creating our own little Royal Albert Hall podcast again. It's really a variety.
Really pop.
Not really. In fact, we say cunt and shit to make it royal.
With an organ behind us.
We just talked about your anus for about 10 minutes straight. There's nothing royal about our podcast.
Yeah. Anyway, but I've got a new car. Let's focus on that. I've got a new car. It's a nice car. It's very. I might give Paul a little spin in the car later. He's yet to be christened. And
what you fucking going to take me to? Down the fucking mountains or
over the meadows through the woods. No, we don't do that. We don't do that.
We don't do that anyway.
No, yes, that's right. Yes, we have needs. We have sheep. I'm talking about lamb chops. What are you talking about?
Moving on.
Come back.
Listen to what it just says now, right? Yeah. Anybody listen to that when you just go and come by? Now, come by to us is literally a farmer going to a flock of sheep to bring them in. Yeah. You listen to that, it sounds like come pie.
Come pie.
Come pie. Come pie. It's all on my face.
What's that, cream pie? Come pie.
Come pie.
Come pie.
I don't know.
Is that a common version of a cream pie? I'm going to give you a come pie, love.
Why does it taste so salty?
Does it taste salty?
I don't know. You're asking me as if I've said the fucking thing.
As if you'd finished yourself off one day and going, what do it taste like?
Oh my god. I nearly just spewed. Oh my god.
Oh.
We need to do these live more often. I think I just need to do and spew live on camera. Oh, God. That was so bad.
Yeah.
I nearly just wrenched up my lunch.
Yeah. So, Paul, what have you been up to this week?
Well, we dabbled in it a second ago there. We've somewhat got a new sponsor. Now, we got a lovely guy who me and Dan go down and have a curry with. We mentioned him in the podcast. That's John. He listens to our podcast as well.
Hi, John.
John, if you're listening, hey.
We love you, John.
But at the same time as well is that when we do a podcast, he listens, he loves it, and he's got a hold of us. He wants to do a future project with us in the inevitable couple of weeks. That's fun for me and Dan and Sean. I think we've got Sean involved with it. That's the best part to it. Literally, we might just leave Sean in Sean because Sean's not the best when it comes down to heat.
No.
No, I will. I think that's all I'm going to say about that because you'll learn a lot more in the coming weeks what we're doing for that project. Just keep an eye on YouTube and we'll keep you updated on the podcast.
I say we kind of pretend and then let Sean actually do it.
Yeah, totally. Now, freaking cock teasing you like that. The other thing that we have got for you for this episode, as I mentioned, we've got a new jingle done. We've got new logos that we've created for the DPCast. I fucking shoved his dick with that.
It looks good.
It does. I genuinely I don't like to toot my own horn, but freaking, I love a good old toot when it needs to. It's one of my best work for the logo. We've fucking gone through, what was it, 4 logos since episode 1?
Yeah, all through delirious creativity. Finally got to the one that we both went, yeah. I think the ones previously we were going, it'll look good.
Yeah.
It will look good with work. But then you just kind of... there's new apps on my phone. Weirdly enough, the what we have, I did have an actual guy creating us a new logo. Yeah. Where do you go?
Fuck knows.
Oh.
Generally, it just vanished.
Oh.
So I was like, I couldn't be asked him.
Okay.
He's probably doing other shit, to be honest. I was quite, I wouldn't say abrupt, but I was like, sort of like, I was asking him quite out of the blue. Put it that way. like, your work is amazing. Can you make us a logo?
I say, Paul, there's a suspicious looking mound of loose soil in your back garden.
So literally,
there's a cross in it too. It says, guy who does logos.
Didn't know his name. Yeah. Slogan.
Turn it to an X. Spoiler.
But at the same time as well is that, yeah, I got it sorted. I loved it. I think that's the really big thing. Otherwise, I've had the exact same thing as you, but didn't we? We both had the shits. Yeah. But the funny part about it is how me and Dan have taken to us being ill with having the shits, and that was our toilet humour.
Earlier, we spent too much time together because now we're in sync with shits.
Well, the best part of it was not as if now we're now sending pictures of our fucking dumps. That's disgusting.
No.
But at the same time as well, it's like,
see what
because we got dignity. But at the same time as well, is like if you've seen our freaking
we have dignity.
But if you've seen our WhatsApp messages, they had just pure genius. At one point, we were making wrestling puns for our shit, with stating our fact.
I think I got him here, actually. Hang on. I think you said my bum had the picture of a running man, so runs.
Yeah.
And I was trying to help. It's everywhere, Dan, and lots of those little smiley face turd thingies. I guess the thing, we were going to go to the cinema yesterday.
Yeah.
And that's when we were both ill.
Yeah.
And I said, ha ha ha, good thing we didn't go to the cinema tonight then. And you said, I would have painted the cinema 50 shades of shit. With me there too, it'd be like a Dulux chart.
Oh yeah, and that's with our wrestling puns. What was the one that I said? My anus.
Oh,
feels
here we go. The wrestling ones. Right then.
I think it's my anus feels like a WWE show. It feels raw.
Hope you said. Hope you're feeling better. That's all right. We're going to go to the cinema yesterday. I said I'm feeling shit.
Yeah.
No pun intended. And I said I hope you're feeling better. And I said cheers, man. Head feels like it's been roofied by Bill Cosby. And you said, my asshole feels the same.
Didn't I say I got roofied in my pudding pop?
Yeah, that's what you said. I've been roofied in my pudding pop.
I laughed way too hard at the stuff I said to you yesterday. I nearly pooped while I was laughing.
I said there's no hair left on my butt cunt after yesterday. I think the all got blown off.
Butt cunt.
Oh, this is your fucking star. Right?
Oh, yeah.
My ass feels like a 205 live show. Shit. Oh.
So with all the toilet humour, guys, freaking, we are making a shorter show this year, this episode.
We've just made it considerably longer.
Well, we're trying to make it about 30 minutes, guys. What we're going to be placing at the end of this podcast is a vault one we've had in a while, haven't we? We talked early doors that we had a guy come on called Scott Kyle. Me and Dan done a podcast with him. Problem is, Dan's audio really did get corrupted midway through. It was a bit of a problem, but... Basically,
Dan pushed a button on his mixer that he shouldn't have pushed, and everything got muddled together, which made editing an absolute clusterfuck.
So, we've just kept it in the vault, haven't we?
We kept it in the vault.
Yeah, we kept it in the vault.
It's in the DPCast vault, waiting to be...
It was any time, and we generally said we might not ever use it because it wasn't the both of us, and I didn't feel comfortable that it wasn't until.
And it was very early days.
Yeah,
I know we're only on episode 20.
Exactly. But I think Moomin done it for me. Moomin came over and I said he done a podcast with us. He's seen on our Dropbox that we had what we had. We had that podcast on there, and I remember him going, "You really need to place this up. This is actually not that bad." And you said parallel, and I was like, I don't know, boys, freaking. And it mostly me. I wanted to do about it. I mean, with the DPcast, I'm not the fucking PCast. I'm fucking DP. It's fucking Dan and Paul. And for the guy that we had on, he was a phenomenal. That's the only one thing that's really swayed me to get him onto at least some form of podcast was. He talked phenomenally through that podcast.
He made the podcast because he talked. He gave all the information. You didn't need to coax him at all. He was just there.
Oh, he was a great guy. Yeah. I mean, genuinely, as much as it sounds like we are sucking him off here, genuinely, the guy was a really awesome guy to listen to. Yeah. And as I said, I could have just sat back and listened to it. But as I said, it's the way it went. Both of us had brand new gear at the time. We did come from a night shift. We only had about 5 hours sleep running into it.
Or something like that.
You know what I mean? It was. We were baby fresh running into that circumstance, so we thought...
Imagine training to be a Spartan from 300. Back in podcast terms, we were spotty little children with ginger hair going, we got new gear.
Yeah, with a cardboard cutter of a sword.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Now we're a little bit more...
We've got a bit of tone to our voice now. And things about we've learned how to use our podcast a little better. We've attributed out our stuff a lot better. Our gear is working a lot better.
We've just learned to just fucking chill out.
Totally.
Just relax and enjoy.
Totally. I mean,
if people want to listen, they listen.
Exactly. And the way we are right now, we just chill out on the fucking sofa, chatting shit.
Yeah.
But as I said, guys, if you do want to get a hold of us on our podcast, that is literally going on to Twitter and Facebook. They're the exact same thing. That is at DPcasters, capital D, capital P, capital C, ASTERS. But if you want to download this special podcast with all the added goodness at the very end of it, that is going to be on iTunes, SoundCloud, and all Android platforms where you get a podcast from. And that's just by searching the DPCast. And that's the DPcast.
Yeah.
But Dan.
Yeah.
I hear that. I hear it again.
I was just going to say. What is that?
I don't know. But I think it's that old man from last week.
Oh, no, not him.
Welcome to the world of a hypothetical, where the only limitations are your imagination. You are captured and taken hostage by an evil henchman. You must call upon a team of your choice to come and rescue you. Who do you choose?
So, he's got another hypothetical for us, Dan.
Oh, he must have been a bit... He's left a note. Hang on.
Right.
He says, not Avengers or DC.
Yeah, so we've got to be quite frugal of... We've got to be a little more open than just your standard Avengers or your Justice League.
Well, he drives a bloody Robin Reliant. Look at him. He must be in a hurry. Fair enough. Well, he was short and sweet this week. You couldn't get rid of him last week. So we've been
team. No
team. We've been captured by an evil man, and we must call upon a team of our choosing. It's a tough one, actually.
It is a tough one because let's have a think about it. So, like a team, this could really go in multiple directions, right? This could be Harry Potter. This could be Fantastic Four because it's a little bit more diverse. You could be Marvel, DC. You could go TV orientated. I mean, there is so many routes you go with this one.
Yeah.
Now, I remember thinking about this back in the day, like when we were doing the hypothetical before the old man started entering and making it into a different atmosphere.
Where the fuck did he come from, anyway?
Fuck knows. Do you know?
Did he follow you home or something?
I think we need.
I've got a new car. There's no excuse. He didn't know where I drive anymore. So.
He followed you to my house. You did. Now you're fucked.
Yeah. God damn it.
But I'm trying to think what team I'd go as.
Yeah. For some reason, the A-team comes to my head, but
that's a team. I'll put it the fool.
Put it the fool.
Yeah, but who would you be in the A-team or?
I'd want to be the helicopter driver because I'm a little bit crazy.
I think I might go Thunderbirds.
Oh, that's a good one. You'd be saved by puppets, though. All you need is a pair of scissors.
No, I want to be like the shitty movie.
Oh, that was a shitty movie. Yeah, that was bad.
Yeah. Literally, as
Are you doing another one?
Most probably.
Oh, right.
Most probably. Freaking. I mean, actually, I changed my mind. Right. I'm going to Power Rangers.
I knew you were going to do that.
Freaking.
Even after last week.
Oh,
you calmed down yet?
No.
That's why you've been ill. You worked yourself up.
I did. Didn't you get that vial in your stomach? And literally, somebody's pissed off. You're like, I won't say nothing. God fucking damn it! Literally, that's how it was. Yes. I literally, when I heard it was coming out, vial build up. Looks good. It looks good. Yeah. What are they doing to this movie?
Yeah.
Then the movie comes out, and then people go, "Oh, Paul, you just overreacted once again." Then I said, "I'm not watching it." I stood by it. I done the exact same with Ghostbusters. I was not going to buy it, and I was not going to spend my hard-earned money in the cinema. Not because we were women. I just didn't like the concept. Secondly, I didn't like the concept for this movie either. I didn't like the way it was constructed through the trailers. The trailers looked a bit blah.
All right, Paul, we talked about it. Now, come on.
But then, literally last week, it was like, he just violently bringing up acid.
I think you were possessed. You like the girl from The Exorcist, didn't you?
Yeah, I kind of was. Last week.
Like, Power Rangers.
Yeah, it was quite a sight.
You did turn into Linda Blair. Fair play.
Yeah,
coughing up pea soup.
I'm not gonna lie. I've listened back to it, and I was still proud of what I said.
I regret nothing.
Good sir, I fucking don't give a shit.
Good day.
But no, I think I'd go the Power. I'd go the old school Power Rangers though. I wouldn't go the modern style, even though the modern style seemed like fucking superheroes. Yeah. I think I still go to the old school because it just feels more original. Yeah. It just feels like I put a bit of spandex on and fucking go out and play karate. Karate? What the fuck am I talking about?
The crayon karate, isn't it? You're playing Crayolas.
I'm special!
With another special podcast.
Oh, we're going to hell.
Yeah. Right, so you're going with Power Rangers?
Yeah, I think I'll go Power Rangers. Either Power Rangers or Thunderbirds. But still, Stingray comes in my head as well.
Stingray.
Maria. You see, you go straight to the song. Yeah. My head does my head does exactly the same thing. Yeah. Yet the tune never went that direction. You listen back and it goes Maria, and it goes through all the things, and it just keeps saying Maria.
Yeah.
Well, like the tune, there is an actual tune that goes off and goes into some little jingle. Yeah. Anyway, sorry, button in.
My mind keeps getting drawn to Star Trek. Because they're kind of a team. Yeah, that's a team. I'm going to go with Star Trek.
Whoa.
But I don't know whether to go with Picard or...
That's what I just been asking. Is it Captain Picard or Kirk?
Kirk or Picard. Kirk or Picard. They both got their benefits.
Yeah, they kind of do, don't they?
Yeah.
I'm intrigued with both. Do you go for Patrick Stewart?
I think Patrick Stewart, he can talk his way through shit easier. Whereas...
Oh, yes, number one.
Yes, we are humanity and all this. But he's also Professor X. Oh no, we can't go there. No, we can't go to Marvel. We're not allowed.
No, we can go Marvel. We can go Marvel. It's just as long as it's not like Avengers.
Yeah.
And like X-Men.
Oh no, I think the note says Marvel. Or these. Anyway, yeah, okay, I'm gonna go Picard then because he's a good talker, and and if he needs to get violent, he will. So I'm gonna go for the Starship Enterprise.
Oh, that's
NCC 1701D.
Nerd.
I can't remember if it's D or C. I think it's D.
I like. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I can see that.
Yeah, the team of that then. So we've got Patrick Stewart. We got Jean-Luc Picard. We got Worf. We've got Riker. We've got Geordie LaForge. Beverly Crusher. Oh, and
back in the day, she was fucking.
She can check my temperature anytime.
As Stan would like to say, hello, Cariad.
Hello, Cariad. Oh.
Never sounded so Welsh.
Oh, yes. And you've got, I've forgotten her name, the bloody, what's the Betazoid? I've forgotten her name now. Well, curly hair.
Who are you talking about?
Well,
the doctor. The doc, you mean?
No, that's Beverly Crusher, that is the doctor. And then you got the Councillor Troy, that's the one. Diana Troy. She's the one that...
She's the one that's with the number one, isn't it?
Yeah, in the films, yeah. And she can, like, sense...
That's what I thought you were talking about when you went...
No, I was talking about the doctor, the redhead.
Are you fucking serious?
Yeah, I'm fucking serious. I'd go for the doctor any day.
Fuck right off.
Yeah.
Oh, that's another hypothetical all again.
Oh,
I mean, genuinely, this old man's not going to be fucking happy now. But genuinely, like, serious?
Yeah, man.
Wow.
I gotta say, I think Troy was fucking annoying for the first few seasons. But then she kind of...
the shit out of her. She was sexy as fuck. She was a vixen.
She's pretty, she's attractive, but I'd go for the doctor any day.
Do you know why do you know why I fancied her the most?
Why?
Because she looked like one of the fucking gladiators from the old school gladiators. I can't remember what she looked like.
Hey, that's what you could have gone for, gladiators to come and rescue you.
They were much of a team.
They come in with bloody polystyrene thingies.
It had to come with the ref.
Yeah.
Contender, you will go on my first whistle.
Toot!
Gladiator, you will go on my second.
Toot! You got to do the whistle.
Ready?
It would be funny if you did the whistle in the Scottish accent as well.
Ooh.
Toot!
So, old man, we basically choose Power Rangers and Star Trek, wasn't it? Star Trek.
The crew of the Starship Enterprise, Next Generation Enterprise.
Well, at least this week you didn't conclude by talking about pork pies. Very well, if that is the best you can come up with, I will return.
Now, we are going to move very much into the final segment on the show. Now, as I said, this is we've just done the live part of the podcast that me and Dan are together. This part now is going to be a little bit of a special for you guys. We wanted to place it in for episode 20 anyways. This is where Dan will have in the first part of the podcast what happened to this podcast, and I will carry on from there forth. And from that point, guys, it's been another great week. We enjoy having recording this for you guys. Doesn't matter how many of you listen, even if it's one, but we know there's more. Yeah. We love doing it.
And to the listeners who've been with us from the start, thank you very much.
Yeah.
From all around the world, thank you very much for your support. And we hope you keep listening. Any suggestions you want to make, just please give us a little tinkle, give us a tweet on the old Twitter or wherever, Facebook.
Yeah.
You know, however way you want to do it.
Whatever way you want to do it, guys. As I said, I give you all the links to it, and that's DPCast on Facebook and Twitter. And then it's DPCast for all our goodness to download it on the go, and that's iTunes, SoundCloud, and Android platforms. And now for this week, that's me and Dan done. But we're gonna merge you straight over to the next part of the podcast.
Yeah, we're going to the movies.
Yep, we're gonna watch Spiderman.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.
Hello, this is Dan, the D of the DPcast, and one of the hosts of the show. Since I am also the editor of this podcast and have full reign over what gets added to it, such as dramatic program interfering announcements, I thought I would do just that. In this episode where we interview a very special guest, Scott Kyle, I am only heard at the very start where I say my name, and nothing more. This is due to a technical malfunction that failed to record my voice beyond that point. Listeners may wonder, where's Dan? I can assure you I was there. But as a tree falls in a woodland, yet no one was there to hear it, so was the case here. Never mind, eh? So, as a final note, I would like to take this opportunity to thank our special guest of the episode once again for coming on our show and being such a wonderful guest. Scott Kyle, you're a gent. This is Dan. I hope you enjoy the show. Thank you.
Welcome back to another episode of the DPCast. I am Paul.
I'm Dan.
A very special guest with us today that we're so glad to have on with us, and that is Scott Kyle.
Hello, guys. I hope I don't disappoint.
You can't disappoint, dude. Genuine. We're just glad to have you on the show. I mean, to be honest, your CV isn't that shabby. I mean, anyway, to be honest, Scott, right? We were looking at your some of the stuff you've worked on, like Outlander. I watched a lot of segments of Kilo 2 Bravo, sorry. Mm-hmm. And I'm not gonna lie to you, genuine. I was watching the Kilo 2 Bravo. Bravo! I mean, and I know obviously you're in certain segments of the movie, but that just segments I watched of it was just so, like, I don't know, I can't even put it into words. I mean, it was quite intriguing. I mean,
it is an incredible story. It's an incredible story
because it's based on a real life scenario, isn't it?
Yeah, in 2006, a group of British paratroopers stumbled into an old Russian minefield, and they call it the Day of Days, and that day was the day when they were trying to get these guys out of the minefield, and everything that could go wrong went wrong in a very short period of time. Over the course of 6 hours, there was 4 different explosions. Several people lost limbs and were injured in the incidents, and Corporal Mark Wright lost his life as well in the incident. So yeah,
wow.
A really bad day at the office, if you want to put it that way.
But the same time as well is that I noticed where you were filming as well. Is that because it looked very desert-like? Was it actually like in a place like Iraq you were filming, or because it looked very that background, like, you know?
They looked at various locations. South Africa was one of them. We ended up deciding that we went and filmed in Jordan.
Oh right, wow.
When we sent the photographs of the location to the real soldiers, they were saying, "Oh my God, it's exactly the same." They got the location bang on, and it was the whole set was created by the Jordanian army.
Oh really?
So we got to meet the King of Jordan. They came on set, and they had prepped the whole location for us. So it was all built by the Jordanian army, which was pretty special and incredible.
Yeah, that is, man. Because when I noticed it, I looked at it, I was like, wow, that terrain looks so much like, as you state now, knowing a little more about the story behind it, obviously makes even more sense of the terrain that I see. And I was like, God, that must have been so hard to work in.
Yeah, I mean, we had 3 thermometers that broke during the time of the shooting. When it went over 55, those days, the thermometer just broke. It was incredible heat, but we did the training in the boot camp with the real paralads, and a lot of the paralads that were there had served with the guys that had been in the minefield. So we were quickly reminded that they didn't have ice cold water and they didn't have umbrellas to come in when we were taking a break. So we got put in our place very quickly as soon as anybody moaned. Wow. The real soldiers reminded us very quickly that they didn't have a 5-star hotel to go to at the end of the
night. Well, because when I was watching it, I noticed you seemed to be like sort of quite a leader of the group when I was watching that segment, like, and when you were running up to the point, I noticed you were doing certain parts of it. That's the last thing I expected you to have your legs blown off.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same with the guys, to be honest. I mean, we did the boot camp. One of the things that they taught us in the boot camp was how you would clear a minefield with your bare hands, how you would do that.
And obviously, you follow all the training and everything they show you. Basically, they're telling you your mate's 20 foot away, and it would take you 4 months to get to him if you did what you're supposed to do. I mean, if you clear it to the textbook where you're supposed to clear it, you would take 4 months to get to him, so he'd be dead and you'd have starved to death, so it's never going to happen. So obviously what the guys do is they quickly do the checks that they can do, and they clear as safe a route as possible to get to their colleague who is bleeding to death 20 metres away as quickly as possible. But obviously with that there comes risks. And to me, I look at the movie is kind of, it's like Jaws in the desert, because there's this hidden enemy underneath. And every time someone steps on the sand, it's a bit like stepping in the water in Jaws, and you're going, no, don't move.
Such a good analogy. Because it's exactly that in a nutshell, isn't it? You know, like at the end of the day, you're not seeing where the predator is coming from. And actually, in the circumstance that you have threats below you and around you, it's a very good analogy. I have to give you that one, Scott. That.
And one of the other things, obviously, in the movie, I know that people might be listening and haven't seen the movie, but one of the key factors in the movie was the British soldiers were there and they asked for help. They radioed in for help and they asked for winch helicopters to lift them out of the minefield. There wasn't any winch helicopters available, and they had to ask the Americans to send a helicopter, but they sent a Chinook, which is a twin propeller. Yeah. And as you were saying, there's danger in the ground. When the helicopter was trying to land, the downblast from the helicopter obviously was moving rocks and blowing things about, and that set off another mine. So it was just an absolute. The guys in the helicopter didn't know the whole situation of what was going on. They had no direct communications with the guys in the ground. So it was the day that all the things that could go wrong went wrong, as I say.
Oh, yeah, I bet. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's it. Talk about like one of the worst case scenarios you could ever be in. I mean, and to me, like, do you know when you were on set? You just mentioned like 3 thermometers go. To me, there was the last scene I watched you in, right? And I noticed you turned over and you had like a hell of a like a war wound on the side of you, and obviously you were pretty much been there for days. And it was not the fact of the acting; it was the color of your skin that you knew you'd been out there. You literally looked. I mean, no makeup can get that on you. I mean, makeup can make you bad. It can make you look wounded. It can make you look like you've got one leg. Your burnt skin just showed the intensity of where you were. And I was like, wow, talk about telling a story without even putting any extras onto it. Like, I was actually quite dumbfounded of how much you guys took a paste in, like as if like were the paratroopers in the movie. So you really did put across that movie quite well. I have to give you that.
I mean, one of the things I always say to folk is that if that movie, the location was a character in it, because the location, we had flies all over our face. You know, the heat was there was bugs and there was things climbing over you in the sand. Do you know what I mean? I mean, there's things in that's a desert. There is bugs and beasties and creepy crawlies all over the place, and they're there for real. So it brings its own character within it. And I don't think if we had filmed that scene in a studio somewhere against a green screen, I don't think it would have had the same effect. I think it would have lacked something, if that makes sense. And I think as well as an actor, it's easier. I found that in Outlander as well. When you're standing on the battlefield in Outlander and there's 100 Highlanders next to you and you look over the hill and there's 200 Redcoats, you can transport your mind there much easier. So you're living it. And I always think that I always say to people about acting, is acting difficult? I says when you're not feeling it, that's when you need to act. And that's a trick, is that if you get in the right situation and you feel the emotions, then brilliant. If you can get that every night when you're doing a theatre play, that's great. The problem is the night when you're not feeling it. That's when your training kicks in, and that's when you need to have all the skill set to deliver it. Because essentially, if you put anybody on the stage and they felt emotions that are in key with the characters, in theory they would do the job. The idea is when you're not feeling it, is that you still have to go out there and that audience are still wanting the performance that the audience got the night before, you know, so that's the trick of it.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned Outlander there, because naturally, the one thing I did want to ask you about now is that obviously you're from Scotland, and did they base a lot of Outlander in Scotland itself? Because it seemed very Scottish-based, the way the parts I seen myself, anyways. And as you said, now you were on instead of being on set, you were actually out in terrain, you know, and actually doing it properly. Like, Based in Scotland a little more? Or is it like, or do you have another random location they placed you into?
Well, the studios are all in Scotland. The studios are in Scotland, so all the internal stuff's Scotland. They then utilise Scotland to make it look like France as much as possible as well. And they used there's Drummond Gardens up in Scotland. They used that for one of the Paris scenes. The other scenes, when they couldn't get what they were looking for in Scotland, I think they went to the Czech Republic. I think they went away to. I think that was it. They went away somewhere else to do. I wasn't involved in those. That's why I'm a wee bit sketchy on exactly where it was. But I know they went abroad to get certain things. And they're going off to South Africa. But yeah, and I was in the second season, but the stuff that I'd watched, people were saying as well about Scotland becoming a character. A bit like I said in Kajaki. The weather of 4 seasons in one day. Sometimes when you're filming up in the Highlands or on a hillside somewhere, you literally get 4 seasons in one day. It can make for difficult filming conditions. One minute you're stripping off all your layers to cool down, and the next minute you're putting it all back on again because it's snowing.
I've always said when it comes to Scotland is that you guys have it the worst in the 4 weather systems. Is that naturally we down here in Wales, we kind of have only like the rain, wind, and sometimes we see the sun. But at the same time as well, you have the snow, the wind, the rain, the everything under the sun. I mean, I will under that bracket. I mean, they don't think about So I can understand.
No, and the weather was challenging on set, but again, what a wonderful opportunity to be on set and it felt. I went to Culloden. I went up to Culloden to go and visit the museum in the battlefield because I'd been on Outlander. And when I was standing on the battlefield, I felt like I could see the Highlanders and I could see the Redcoats, and I could kind of really picture the battle vividly because we had done the Preston Pans filming. When we were filming, I filmed the Battle of Preston Pans. So you've got to remember when I'm filming that, I've got 100 guys next to me. They're all looking different ways, different beards. I can look in their eyes and I can see them. I can feel what they're doing. You look over and there's all these Redcoats that are all standing at the other side, and then we charge each other on this battle charge. And then when I go and stand up in Culloden, and there's a tour guide who's saying to me, and this is where they charged, and this is what happened, and I'm going, wow, I can see this so clearly. A totally different insight into what went on in the history of the country. So
yeah, exactly. I just want to say, it must feel so much for you, like to feel that motion, because there's nobody in Scotland, except for the people in that war itself, actually could feel what you just felt. I mean, you've done something that you've got, as you just stated, like that feeling that you will only get by reenacting that same circumstance. And as you said, it's that tingly feeling between your stomach going, wow, I'm watching something that no other person but myself right now is feeling. I mean, that must be something. Oh, Jenna, I totally get what you mean now.
I'll tell you something though. I've warned my wife, and I've said to her that she needs to prepare any children that we have for visiting me in the old folks' home, where I'll be telling them that I was a 17th century Highlander, and I was also a paratrooper, and I fought in Afghanistan, because I've been in these places and I've played those roles, and I'm sure when I'm losing my marbles in an old folks' home, I'll be swearing to everybody that I was in the 1700s and I was in Afghanistan.
I know. Can you imagine them still? Them stories in an old pensioner's home, and you can imagine it. And people would believe you as well, because naturally they'd have nothing to underestimate it. You got video evidence.
Yeah, well, that's true. That's the only one godsend there that they can watch the video. They can watch the videos of it. And that's why I in my 30s I've done more filming in my 30s, and people always ask me, what do you prefer? And I say, in my 20s I did all the theatre and I loved the theatre. And that live audience, you can never beat it, that live reaction on the night, and that every show is different, every audience is different. But one thing that's sad about it is that it is lost that night. That night is only those people who've seen that magic that night can ever tell the story, whereas at least on film, like, you guys can say, wow, I've seen the Kajaki. Now, if the Kajaki story was, if the Kilo 2 Bravo movie was actually a play, then it would have been a limited audience that's seen it, and nobody else would have got a chance. They might have been able to say how good. Whereas I like the idea that my kids and grandkids and ancestors might be able to sit and watch a tape and go, that's my grandfather. Yeah, that's a nice thing about film. So, that's what I've found. I've found as I'm getting older, when I was younger, I think I was so busy and so active that I kind of hated filming, in the sense that I hated all the waiting about and waiting for the light to be right, waiting for the rain to go off, waiting, and jumping into action. Whereas in the theatre, it was so it's hard work all the time. You're constantly busy. So I think as I'm getting older, I'm enjoying the filming side of it more, because it'll last. And obviously the wider audience that can get to see your work, which is ultimately why we do tell stories. We want people to hear our stories, and we want to share them with as many people as possible. And TV and film gives us that bigger audience, which is great.
Yeah, that is very. Well, to be honest, the one thing I wanted to ask you the most about, to be honest, is you got up and coming projects coming up that they're luckily enough of IMDb. But this one, Once Upon a Time in London, that you're a guard in. But the one that's really me is Bab the Man Who Took Too Much, and it's a short animated movie you're making.
Yeah, this came about. I was on the Outlanders set, and I met Fraser Murdoch, and Fraser was on the set. He was in charge of the green screen stuff, so he would make the 50 soldiers in the camp look like 1,000 soldiers in the camp. He was in charge of all that. So I got chatting to him one day in the green room, and he was telling me about this project he was doing. It was an animated project that he was doing. And my other day job that I do is I work in a community theatre. So I said to him, look, I don't know, maybe we can do something with the theatre to screen your movie at some point. Long story short, Fraser wrote me in as a producer. Now I'm playing Bab, who's the lead animated character in the story.
Wow.
And I'm Bab, the man who took too much. But Bab, the man who took too much. Basically, he's running a scrapyard. His father is taken ill and went into hospital. So Bab's in charge of the scrapyard. And he's not paying the tax. He's not doing the things he was supposed to do. All the things his dad told him to do, he's not doing. And he's not paying his way. So essentially, he's a man who took too much and didn't give anything back. So it's a very interesting story. He's got the tax authorities on him and the benefit fraud and stuff like that. It's quite funny. Wow. And he's living the life of luxury because he's not paying anything in. So it's funny. I've never done animation before, and kind of the idea of it, kind of doing a voiceover is a bit like the Toy Story kind of idea or something, which is something that you've always kind of thought it'd be great to do, but to actually do it, it was incredible.
Yeah, I think a lot of actors, like people, as you stated, like do Toy Story, do all the Pixar animations, etc., and every single one of them state, I prefer to do one of these. Is like, even though you're not acting, you are. It's like to watch something that somebody else has created, and then you're putting a voice onto it. They said it's such an experience. It's hard to recollect it, to acting physically yourself in front of a camera, and they said it's amazing. Obviously, there's people like the Wolverine who's done certain stuff behind the scene, the extra parts like that. And I was only watching a day back of it myself, and it was quite intriguing how him watching himself and then doing like this, just doing like when he brings out the claws, that is obviously CGI, and he literally going in really mauling as if like he was in that action, and I could feel that as if like he was doing that in Pixar.
Is that the clip that he was running as well? Was that the same clip? Yeah. I seen a clip. Yeah, I seen the same clip. Then he's running, and then he's doing the claws and stuff, as you say, and they're just recording his audio. So it's pretty incredible. Yeah, stuff. It was an amazing experience going into the studio with the other actors as well, and you found that you could have an awful lot of fun as well. I felt that. I don't know. I felt that because it was for the kind of animation, the cartoon, if you would, it was very, very funny. I don't know, it was very, very funny, and watching other people and doing things, it was pretty cool.
Yeah, I bet. So how many people are actually in like a studio with you and like recording this new animation?
I had two other actors. There was three in the cast, and there was three in the sound team, and then there was the director. Yeah, so I think there was about 7 involved in the whole thing. Wow. And sometimes you're in having fun on your own, and you look through the mirror and they're having a discussion about what you've just done, and you can't hear them, so you have no idea whether they're saying, what the hell is this guy doing, he's awful. You've no idea what he's saying, and then they'll turn it on and say, yeah, could you just do that again, please? All right, great. So but yeah, the animation's been great fun, and Fraser's a very, very probably the most talented guy I've met, in terms of he does something that I've never seen anybody else do. Sitting in a room with someone and they create this, literally bringing rooms to life and out of nothing. It's pretty impressive.
Yeah, to be honest, animation to me is such a it's a different world. That's obviously the direction that movies are really heading, and as I said, Pixar is obviously the leader, and Disney the way they do their stuff. But as I state, freaking people who can do the shorts like yourselves now and really bring a new light into it. I totally give you guys massive props, because at the end of the day is that you're bringing a different diversity as well. What the cinematic needs for people like your mate to come in and basically bring that tad bit something different, that is so commercial, and as I said, it sounds like that's where this animated movie is going with yourselves. You're just giving that something a bit different to the movies.
One of the things I was naive to was how much work they have to do and how long it would take. I'm thinking, right, that's us done this amount of work. When we'll be able to see something? And they're like, it'll be months. Absolutely months. They've got to build all the world that the characters are in. They've got to build every item, even to a plug socket. A plug that was into the wall, into the plug socket. They build that item on its own. And Fraser sent me a couple of videos showing me I'm just building a plug on a wall. And I was like, wow, God, it takes so long to do. Every single item you see in there has to be individually built. And you just wow, it's just, I don't think I had the patience to do what those guys do. But that's why they're so good at what they do.
Well, I want to take us back a step, Jonas. I noticed that you mentioned that you'd done the theatre first. What age did you start theatre then?
I went to high school and I did acting in high school. But when I left at high school, there wasn't an immediate road to a career path. To be honest, I didn't feel. And I went out and I worked in retail for 5 years, and then I went back to college, and I did 3 years at college. And from college, I went out and I think I was working about 10 years in the theatre circuit.
Oh, wow.
And now really, and amongst that, I did a couple of short films and a couple of bits and bobs, movies, just to get to learn basically how it works on set and how they make movies, and that stood me in good stead for The Angel's Share and then Kilo 2 Bravo, and now Outlander, obviously, which was the biggest production I've ever been on. And the nice thing was there was a lot of times when I got to watch what was going on, because maybe I didn't have as many lines, or I was just to move something or do something in the scene. And that was nice going in because it was so big. There was a lot of pressure on the show, but not so much pressure on me. Whereas on Kajaki, Kilo 2 Bravo, there was quite a bit of pressure on me because I was number 3 on the cast list. So you were one of the leads. So that brought us a different pressure. Well, and you were playing a real person as well, which is a pressure that I've never felt anything like it. Well, with Kilo 2 Bravo, people were. I went to the movie premiere in London's Leicester Square, and we had a big red carpet out and stuff, and there was army veterans coming along. Some of the guys that had lost limbs were coming along this huge red carpet, and it was the Tom Cruise stuff. It was the stuff of dreams. And we went inside, and the whole time though, you were nervous because you hadn't seen the film, and I knew that Stu that I was playing in the film hadn't seen it either. So the whole time watching the film, I wasn't enjoying it because I had no idea what he was thinking. And because it's a true story, my first port of call was Stu. If Stu didn't like the movie, it was a waste of time because I'm playing him. It's his story that I'm telling. Then after that, it's the rest of the guys that were in the minefield that day. That's your next responsibility. You're hoping that they all like the story and think you've done a good job. And then with that is the para unit that you're representing. The soldiers, the unit, and then it's obviously the regiment. And then obviously it goes wider to your hoping your mum and dad and people are going to be proud to come sitting in the audience. But it was a real, because normally you do work and you just want the audience to like it. That's all that matters.
Yeah.
The audience were the last thing. You weren't even caring about what the critics would think. There was a really small pool of people that you wanted to impress, and thankfully we did. So that was nice.
Oh yeah. You can tell. In your voice, the way you're talking about the movie, you could tell it moved you, and the same time as well is like you wanted to go just beyond the people sitting in the seats. There was people that you wanted to that you just knew just before it even got to that stage. You just wanted people, the guys who you represented, just to make sure, that you represented me on the nail. And that's a different. A lot of actors can't sometimes don't put it in movies, and obviously, like yourself, it's. You have to place it in there to make sure them scenes you were in, to make sure they were more such life that even these people could even reminisce, going, damn, that was so on the nail. It's like I was there again, And as I said, in some cases, it's some people like them need that next memory to remember, God, even though it's a bad memory, it's still to remember there was it was that occurred. We did get out of there. And as I said, like you really put that across. I mean, you could tell the way you constructed the movie, or the way the director did around it. He done it so well, and you guys as actors, you could tell you've really gone into the roles and seen how they felt. And I have to give you huge props. I mean, it sounds like you really went beyond the call of nature to make sure there's people were part of it, were really happy before you even produced it to the next stage. And it looks like you've done the exact same in Outlander. I mean, as you said, you had that.
What I was going to say is I thought the pressure of representing one person and the regiment, the para regiment, was a big pressure. Then you go into Outlander and you're representing that Scottish history. So it's an even bigger to get it. If you get it wrong, if you get those battles wrong and people don't like it, it's a bit. I always say with Braveheart is people have always got their opinions on Braveheart, and people say it's not factually correct, it's not historically correct, it's yada yada yada. Well, with this one, we're going. Well, we're doing some big battles in history, and they will always be referenced to. Kids at school, if they're ever studying, the Battle of Preston Pans, will watch that episode of Outlander to get a gauge of what it was like. So it was really important that we got it bang on, that we actually nailed it. So that even felt, so I went from that thinking, I'll never have to do that again, to moving into something that I felt was even greater a pressure. the whole of the I might be banished from Scotland if we don't get it right. So
and I have to give you, Scott, right? We didn't when you followed us not long back, we could understand that you were looking for some extra followers. You're really on target to be hitting that 200k people. And I'm not going, when you followed us, we were quite intrigued. My partner literally went straight away, oh my God, I know who he is. She's been well intrigued with the Outlander series. And I was like, we're quite dumbfounded. And I'm not going to lie, when you retweet us and like this, your fans have been absolutely amazing. I mean, I have to give it to you. We did not expect any of the love that we had of your fans, like we did. I mean, the post went one of the best posts we've had on our Twitter page. And I have to give you your main selector of fans, anyways. They have been phenomenal. I have to give you that. And is it Margaret? Is it?
Margaret volunteers at the theatre, and Phyllis as well. They two are constantly working away in the Twitter. They're retweeting stuff, and they're really passionate about the show.
You could tell huge fans of yours.
I mean, the nice thing about it is I keep saying to folk that I feel Outlander fans are using social media for what it's supposed to be used for. There's loads of people that they've got friends and family on social media and they never even speak to them. And the nice thing with the Outlander fans, they're using it as an excuse to meet friends. They're using it as an excuse to meet up, and they're traveling the world. They're coming to Scotland. They're seeing locations. I mean, I've now got friends from all over the world. I was at the gathering at the weekend in Germany, and I've now met friends for life. There's people coming over in September now to come and meet us in Scotland and stuff. So I think the nice thing is that I don't treat anyone who's following me as a fan. I treat them as someone who's supporting the arts and supporting the work that we're doing. I'm as big a fan of them as they are of me. Do you know what I mean? Because I know from my background in theatre, and you guys will know this if you worked in the theatre industry, without an audience, we don't have a show, and we won't have theatres. If people don't attend the theatres, we won't have theatres. And the same with the work, that if there is no audience, there is no actors. So I am more amazed by the audience that have taken interest in me than probably they are that I've taken interest in them. Do you know what I mean? These are people that have gave us the chance to be in these shows. They're watching movies like Kilo 2 Bravo. So it's me that's been blown away by them as opposed to the other way around. Kind of.
Genuine. That's exactly how it should be, though, Scott. I mean, too many actors are too much like, oh, I need this, I need that, and you could tell you're giving that extra 100%. And it shows. I mean, you could tell the way. Just retweeting somebody on it, and just, as you said, following people and getting that support structure that you have on your Twitter page. And as I said, even though you just did like the no fans, you treat them like real people, and that's such something that a lot of actors or a lot of people who are big on Twitter, they don't do that. I mean, genuinely, like you're a caliber that is on Twitter right now. What a lot of maybe other people should maybe look at, because I kid you not, you're treating them like human beings, not like, oh, let's follow this person, let's get my numbers up so I can make myself look better. You're actually trying to build this nice network of people around you that support you and are Outlander fans, and that who like Scott Kyle itself, and I have to give you props. it's you've really got a nice.
At the same point, what you're saying there is you're absolutely right. They are supporting me in the same way. When I retweet your post, I'm supporting you back. And anybody that asks me to retweet something, or maybe there's someone's raising money for somebody who's sick or whatever else, I always make sure I do, because it costs nothing to hit the retweet button and to be nice, kind of. And obviously, as the followers have got more bigger, it has been difficult to make sure you're getting back to everybody. But you've got to at least give it a go. You know what I mean? If you're a wee bit late getting back to someone, say, look, I've been busy doing this. I mean, it's a bit. I use the analogy of in the theatre. If I was in the theatre that I work in, and someone walked past and said, "Good morning, Scott," I wouldn't ignore them.
Yeah.
And therefore, why would I ignore someone on social media? Because it's the exact same. It's just someone reaching out and saying, "Good morning, how are you doing? Kind of how's that project coming on? I see you're doing Bab. I see you're doing this." It's common courtesy to get back and say, "Yeah, we're doing this, blah blah. The project's doing this." And I don't know. I look at it as if you're online, you're there to connect. Do you know what I mean? And that's what I thought. That's what fault of Twitter was. And I blame Stephen Walters, who plays Angus in Outlander, for it all. That's who I blame. Because Stephen asked me to help him set up a Twitter, so I did, and then he convinced me to join Twitter. And I was saying to him, look, nobody's going to be interested in me, and he said, go on. He says, I'll follow you. You can follow me back, and then I'll tell people to follow you. So that's exactly what happened. He followed me. I followed him back. Then there was like 4 people that followed me. I followed them back. And here we are. And today we're sitting at 142,000 because you're connecting with folk.
You've got a nice little, I think when we first started having a chat to do, and that was, nearly 3 weeks back. And I'm not going to lie, genuinely, I looked at it, I was like, you're trying to hit 200K. And I was like, wow, you're a bit off it. And then actually, as I looked at it, I was like, today, I was like, holy Jesus, genuinely, you really exponentially gone up in a couple of thousand in the last few weeks. And as I said, maybe you're going across it. Maybe the fans or the people who you're around you, it makes it like the people who are joining you just as if like you're joining a family. I mean, like it just feels that way. Yeah, it does feel like that. It's a nice feeling to have on the Twitter because you normally have all the spam and the crap and all that going down it. The same time as well, and like you got yourself, and when you go down it, you could tell you're seeing your life. But at the same time, you're still enjoying the people around you, and you do treat it like a family. And I have to give you a massive one on that one. It does feel nice to have it, but it's a rare thing to have.
One of the difficult things I found was when my timeline, at one point I had 1,000 old tweets, right? There were loads and loads of these tweets from months ago. And if you get a new follower, what the new follower does, just out of habit, is have a nosy at your page. So they go through your page and they start liking posts that were 8 months ago, and your phone starts going crazy, right? because someone's going through 1,000 old posts and liking them all. And you bear in mind, if you're getting maybe, I don't know, hundreds of new followers a day, then that means that there's hundreds of likes coming in. So what I had to do is go through and actually clear some of my timeline and take off old posts because it was meaning that I was that busy getting notifications about the likes that I couldn't get back to comments.
Yeah.
So I had to kind of do a wee clean up of my timeline so that it was manageable, try and keep it a bit shorter so that there's not as far a history for people to go back and like. And that's because I'm a one-man band. I'm trying to do this on my own. So I'm trying to find ways of getting back to folk and making sure that I can see everything that's going on. But yeah, it's a lot of work. But I mean, without those supporters, then you wouldn't have a job in the first place.
Totally.
No one would have seen the movies or been interested in the movies. So I think they're the most important people in your career. I mean, the most successful actors that I can think of off the top of my head are people like Tom Cruise. And I've seen Tom Cruise miss the premiere of his movie because he's out on the red carpet taking pictures.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I mean that's an actor that appreciates and knows that without the audience, he wouldn't be an actor. He wouldn't be the man he's become or the performer that he is.
True. Have you heard the way he actually comes in? Do you know, like if he's got a new role? Have you heard how he actually comes in and tells the director's team of how he's rolling it? If now, like you got all straight on the table, you got all the actors and all the directors ready to go and kind of just do a roll call of this is how we're going to do it. You're going to be this, you're going to be that. Well, obviously he's going to be told pre up to that point because he's the biggest actor there. And he stays. I think the last one was Rock of Ages, and he was the main singer. And they state when he came in like the character. He built the character on himself, and he walked in as if he was him. And he literally he was throwing stuff here, throwing stuff there, but he went straight into the character, and he gave that such the next 100% onto it. And he says he does it for every role. Every role he's into, he'll give that next 100%, and he'll act as if he comes in as if he's it. I mean, he is not now going, oh, I don't know, I don't like that. He's it. He's taking it. He's rolling with the blows. He's going to make that movie. Doesn't matter which way it looks. And you can tell it is. I can understand why you'd name him as the actor that is the bigger one that'd be on the red carpet. So because he does give that something extra that you don't share much with other actors as well. So I could totally agree with.
I mean, he's been about my lifetime. That's probably why I use him as well, from watching Top Gun and Cocktail and all the movies through the years. And he's still going strong, and that's the most difficult thing I think in this industry is that there's a lot of people that maybe get a movie deal or something, and they can't maintain it or continue on, and it's very, very difficult to be in a movie at all is a huge achievement. Not knocking that's a huge achievement, but the challenge for us all is to build a career out of it where we continually work, and one of the biggest things of that would be is if you've got a support network that come and support your work, then kind of. I mean, when I was doing theatre, I wish Twitter was about then. And you had a support network to support your plays. We didn't have that at the time. So social media is a great thing in that ways. But I know what you mean in terms of you also get. I mean, I must get hundreds of messages every day, and it's the robots just spamming you with stuff. Yeah. But that's part and parcel of the social media. That's one of the you get the yin and the yang, the good and the bad.
Exactly. It's exactly we just said in the nail there. It's you must knock off notifications on your phone. I mean, you must watch it. Because as I said, you could have nearly 600 to 700 people like in one post, and that's just one post. I mean, you've got
exactly that's it, and that's that's the thing is that it's a blessing as well. It's a blessing to have those folk taking an interest in you. Yeah. There's a lot of wonderful artists out there who play to small crowds in a pub every night or whatever, and they could be the most wonderful artists in the world. And what we're trying to do is get that audience. Everybody's searching for an audience to see their work, and that's what I think on Twitter. That's if you're fortunate enough to have a support network, then you can share that support network with other people like you guys with your show. Of course, you would try and support you guys, and you guys are trying to support me, and vice versa. And we work together. If we can get everybody working together, and sharing the love a wee bit, then it should all work in theory.
And Scott, we can actually feel that as well. I mean, we could feel that like as I said, when you retweeted us, you could feel like, it wasn't like, oh, I'm just retweeting you just to get thing. You could feel there was something more behind it. I mean, at the end of the day, that I thought, why not? Let's direct tweet him. What's the worst that can happen to us? We would start a podcast, and you have been a complete and utter gent throughout the full entire progress getting up to the stage right now recording. And I have to give you huge props on that one. I know I've mentioned you with huge props throughout the entire show, but I have to give it to you. You have acted like what to me a lot of actors should maybe go down that route. I mean, you showed so much love to the people around you, so much people to the people coming into, and as long as they're not bots, you treated them like human beings, and exactly what they are. And I got to give it to us. I mean, at first we were like, oh my God, we've got Scott Kyle. You've got such a following around you. It was inspirational for us to take the podcast to the next level, to make sure that we could give you a bigger and better show. And that does, as you just said, whilst you support us, we support you. Whilst we get bigger, it gives you their extra more. And that's where it comes in, as you state, that yin and yang. But
I'll give you another example. When I was doing theatre, I produced a show as a football play. It was called Singing I'm No a Billy, He's a Tim. The short version of it was two football fans in a prison cell, and they didn't get on, so it was Rangers and Celtic. We started the show, we did it in a pub to 60 people. Now, that's how the show started. After 5 years of touring it and working really hard, we were playing to 3,000 people a night in Glasgow. And one night we were doing a pub on the Friday night, and this was a pub we'd played for the 5 years. They booked us every year, this wee pub. So we did the show, and one of the locals came up to us and he said, that was a great show, really enjoyed that. And he said, where are you tomorrow night then? No, that's just one of the things that they say. They say that to bands or they say it to touring artists. So where are you tomorrow? And we said to him, we're in Glasgow playing the SE SACC. Now, the SACC in Glasgow, if you don't know, is a huge, huge venue where only the biggest acts in town go to. And he said, well, why are you playing here tonight if you're doing that venue tomorrow? And I said to them, because you guys gave us a chance at the start. Before the big venue were interested, you guys booked us every year. So we'll always come back. We'll never forget that you did that. And any new show we were going to mount, the big venue's not going to take it the first day, but those guys in the pub would take it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And that's the thing with you guys. Like, hopefully, you guys go on and the podcast thing grows and grows and grows, and I'm coming back onto an even bigger show in the future. But in the same boat, if you guys help propel my journey on, then it would only be nice that if I'm saying, I'm doing a movie with Tom Cruise, and I'll get Tom on your show, that'd be the nice thing to do, is to say, well, you guys brought me on, when we were doing Bab or we were doing anything else, and now we're doing DreamWorks or Pixar, and we're going to bring the team onto the show. That'd be the nice thing and the right thing to do, I think.
Yeah, it's passing that extra on, isn't it? It's like you just know. It's, to me, let's see if I can help somebody else out with it. It's a nice thing to have. It's nice to know that there's people like yourself out there, Scott. I mean, there's not enough of people like yourself who like to pass on the extra. They like just to take, and then you give on, and it's on to make sure somebody else can live the way that you have for the last amount of years, and that you have the experiences that you had, so other people can experience that bracket, and you hope then people will pass that on, and then people to them.
Exactly.
It's a nice message to pass on to people. It's a lost hope.
I think Kevin Spacey's quoted as saying, when you get to the top, it's only common courtesy to send the elevator back down. I think it's Kevin Spacey that said that, and I thought I quite liked that one. I thought that's it. If you're doing well, be sure and send the lift back down for somebody else, because you were at the bottom at some point. You know what I mean? And on the elevator analogy, I always remember I read a Wayne Dyer quote, and he said, "The elevator to success is out of order today. You're going to have to take the stairs." And I feel I'm very much taking the stairs. Unfortunately, the elevator's out of order, so take the stairs.
Well, Scott, each and every week, right, we do a hypothetical question, all right? And we wanted to implement you in this hypothetical question because we theme the shows each and every week around it, so we can kind of structure it a little better. And this week, we thought, since we're having you on, we're going to structure the hypothetical question on yourself and see how you would answer it. So the hypothetical question this week is, if you had to be stuck in a TV show for a month, what show would you pick and what character would you be?
It would have to be Friends, without a shadow of a doubt, and it would have to be Chandler Bing, because could I be any more like Chandler Bing?
Oh, wow, yeah, I didn't even see that until you just mentioned it. Yeah, wow. That is...
my wife says I'm very like Chandler Bing. That's what my wife tells me. You know, obviously, as a young girl, when we were dating, my wife and I have been together 17 years, so we've been together since I was 16. But her friends would also gather around and they would all chat about which one of the girls that are friends they were. And then obviously all the boys they were dating, they would say, what one is the boy that you... And I was always Chandler, the friendly, funny guy that my wife wanted to marry. So that was nice. I got that one. Right, wait, I wanted to be Joey, but I was never Joey. I wanted to be Joey. Everybody wanted to be Joey.
Nobody's ever Joey.
So
that's
my answer to that one.
If I had to be one, I mean, my one's definitely have to be Fraser. I mean, talk about another classic there.
Yeah, I watch that most mornings.
To be like, as young as I am, as 30, freaking, I love Fraser, and I loved how it's spun up to Fraser through Cheers. And I'm an old school TV fan, and to me, I'm doing what I wanted to do if I was watching that. It's exactly what Fraser's doing. Like, he's kind of doing a podcast system, but through a radio, the old school way of doing it through radio. And I'm not gonna lie, like Fraser to me would be definitely that character I'd love to be around. The way he is as well. I wouldn't like to be the pompous way he acts. But the same as well, like the way he makes himself from the days of Cheers to the days now of Fraser. It's such a construct of the way of an actor. It's phenomenal. Well, guys, that brings to the end of our show. And Scott, would you like to give a quick plug to your Twitter?
Yeah, I mean, if you want to chat to me, I'm on Twitter. I'm Scott J Kyle #1. Yeah, and you can give a wee follow or give a follow back. And that'd be cool.
It's good for it, genuine. And honest to God, you look at his timeline. It's nothing short of being quite entertaining. Going down it, it tells you the places he's been, where he's going, and naturally all the people he's meeting up with. Because if it wasn't taken last week, you were meeting up to the Outlander crew and all that. And it's entertaining to go down and have a look. It does feel a nice Twitter page to really get intrigued and see how other people are feeling on it. And guys, if you want to get a hold of us, if you want to get a hold of us at DPCasters, capital D, capital P, capital C, or hashtag it DPCast, capital D, capital D, capital P, capital C. And if you want to download our podcast on any one of the platforms, that's iTunes, SoundCloud, and all Android apps, please do so. And further ado, guys, it's an honour, Scott. It's an absolute honour. Yeah.
Well, the honour's mine, guys. Thank you very much for inviting me onto your show. That's a privilege.
No worries. And we will catch your ass next week.